Hello! This is day 28 of my 30-day death challenge of Valorant. Man, I've learned a lot. I've come a long way. And today, very special day, unlocked my next agent. This one's Breach. Apparently he's a Swedish man. Look at that beautiful, flowing orange hair. I'm gonna make an orange cake to celebrate. Alright, as per my tradition, new agent, new dessert. But let's first get to the usual. Let's get to work. Alright, so this is day 28, death number 1. I'm using the Marshall here, so obviously sort of we're feeling a little poor at this point. In this game, I think we have a DC, a disconnect, who comes in and out, so most of the game we're at a 4v5. So anyways, you can see 2 of our teammates got taken out on B Garage. I decided to use my Rolling Thunder straight away, and you can see it must have popped up the Omen behind that pillar. 2 of them are still Garage. Get off a kill on their Sage, and then, oh, crouching headshot on the Omen, that felt good. Now, their Sova just got me with his ult through a wall, and it never said, you know, like, location found, when he uses his tracking arrow, and his location finding arrow, whatever that's called, it usually gives you a little notification. So either their Sova is like very smart and clever and good and able to shoot me through walls without that, or for some reason, like, I don't see that notification. Maybe if you have your scope open, you don't? I don't know. I'd like to learn more about that. I feel like it's often unclear whether the enemy team knows where you are or not, which maybe that's the way it should be. I don't know. But let's see how this gets played out. So here it's still 2v1. Just their enemy Raze left, able to take him out, and able to get the defuse, so that feels good. A nice solid start to day 28. May have died, but team really did well there. Alright, well hey, I think it's time. Let's get into cake mode. Alright, so this is gonna be cake, round 1. Just gonna get some butter up in that pan, right? Always, butter your pan, lots of butter. As much butter as you can stomach. Make sure it's well greased, and it'll make all the difference. Make it super tasty. I'm also a big fan of using the parchment paper. It just helps ensure that you've got a nice clean release. Nothing worse than like stuck baking stuff, you know? And you know, honestly, this much butter, you're probably not gonna have a problem. However, I'm a belts and suspenders man. Alright. What's next? I got this sort of juicy caramel stuff. I got lemon, brown sugar, butter. Gonna put that on the stove and sort of just melt it up. Don't need to really fully caramelize it, but get it nice and melty, and then pour it into the pan. Now I'm working off of a New York Times recipe called blood orange upside down. I definitely think there's a little too much of this sort of caramel base, so I would probably make half if I were to do this again. And then you're gonna lay out some oranges. I kind of already trimmed these and cut them into maybe like 6mm or so slices, and just sort of lay them out in a sort of mosaic-y pattern. Kind of fun, kind of enjoyable. While I'm doing that, let's see what's going on with the game. All right, so this is gonna be death number 2. So we do have 5 here, but you can see at A site we lose a guy and get word that they're pushing into A. So I'm gonna rotate off B. You can also tell by our position that B looks like there's just no one pushing it. So pretty safe time to rotate. Seems like we really do need to rotate. And the rest of my teammates a little bit slow, but able to take out one in heaven. And it's become habitual for me to fall back and reload, which is good. I'm really proud that I'm no longer like reloading as I push forward. And then I round this corner, try and be careful and slow here. I go all the way past. I like doing this because if there's someone on site, they usually don't check that angle. So there you can see that Raze didn't like look all the way around that corner, so I'm able to get the jump on him. I used my Rolling Thunder to clear the site, and wasn't really expecting that Omen there, and so I wasn't ready for it. A little bit of a spray that I probably shouldn't have sprayed, should have burst, and he takes me out. So I think there I was too focused on the site, and I should have focused more on making sure that everything was clear before pushing on. But again, team wins, feels good. All right, hey, back to the cake. This is round 2. What do I have here? These are my dry ingredients. So this is a cool cake. It's got a lot of cornmeal, more cornmeal than flour. Kind of interesting texture. Also got baking powder, orange zest, and a bit of salt in here. And I'm just gonna mix that until it's incorporated. All right, then onto the wet. The wet's interesting. Not a lot of liquid actually here. It's really mostly butter. So 1/4 kilo of butter. Woo-wee! That's a lot of butter. And then 1 cup sugar. And you're gonna cream this. Now creaming butter and sugar is kind of a weird process. You know, it's like kind of a paste, and it's kind of hard to describe, but you know it when the texture's right. Then you're gonna add 4 eggs, all right? And you have to add them one at a time. I think if you were to add all 4 at once, it would sort of just like, yeah, I mean, you'd have your like butter mix and you'd have your eggs, and it'd be very difficult to combine. So helps to do it one at a time. And I go for the tool change out here, bring in the second line, get that whisk going, and try and incorporate that as evenly as possible. And you're gonna continue this until you have all 4 eggs, which is what I have here. Then you're gonna add a 1/3 cup of some sort of soft cheese. Recipe calls for sour cream, but where I'm living, pretty hard to find. Cottage cheese though, worked super well. I think you could use like a cream cheese, like a Philadelphia cream cheese, or yogurt, or I don't know, whatever you want, experiment. Bit of vanilla there, and let's leave it at that for now. Back to the game. This is gonna be death number 3. One of the things I'm really enjoying about Breach that you can see here is I believe all of his abilities are quite useful to use through walls. So you're always in a safe position when you're using your abilities, which is just kind of a cool way to look at it. So if you're aware of where your enemies are, and if you're working with your teammates, you can be in cover but still be contributing, which is quite cool. Let's say you're real low health points. You know, you could stay in cover but still be active, still be contributing. All right, here I'm pretty proud of this. We're playing narrow and conservative. We're down a man, and we're not giving up on A site, but just being smart about it. Kind of doing this narrow peek, and yeah, you can see I think that was their raise just run through, and then their Sova peeks out. I think I got a shot off there, and then come back and peek the raise, able to get that kill. But I am low HP. And actually here I try and get in view of the Sage so she can heal me, which she does, and I appreciate. And then gonna again focus on ramps, check flank, go back to ramps, and their Sage pushes in, able to get the trade off. Again, reloading in cover, and then I'm gonna attempt to push up towards ramps. And again, so this is another time where I have this question. You can see the Sova uses his location finding dart. It doesn't say it found me, but then he pops out almost as if he knows I'm there. I was walking, so he shouldn't have heard me. So either his dart did find me, or he just has great intuition and pops down ramps and finds me anyways. I don't know. Okay, hey, back to the cake. So I got my wet, got my dry, and now you gotta incorporate them. The recipe specifically says not to overmix at this stage, which, I mean, not really a problem, because I've just got this little wooden spoon. It's pretty hard to overmix with that. I think that's mainly aimed at people with these fancy electric mixers, which I'm not really in tune with. Anyways, here's this delicious caramel orange base, and or top. Really depends on your perspective. And we're gonna load in that batter. All right, it's quite a heavy, kind of stiff batter, so I was a little bit careful not to displace the oranges. And then you gotta smooth it out. And again, try not to compact it too much. But isn't this just one of the most pleasing things in life? Just that, like, leveling out a surface. I think it's kind of like, you know, there's like an optimal number of strokes to flatten, you know, or it's like painting or something where you can overwork it and you can lose kind of the expression of your brush strokes if you do too much. And finding like just the right amount of smoothing, oh man, that's super pleasing to me. And just getting it nice and perfect. Chuck that bad boy in the oven, 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 176 degrees Celsius for roughly 50 minutes. And yeah, I put my timer on for 45 and then just started checking, and we'll see how it came out in a minute. First, back to the game. This is death number 4. Again, you see me using abilities here through a wall. As my teammates are advancing, I'm able to use the concuss around that corner. And playing the same angle, kind of deja vu round. I end up pushing A here a bit towards the end. There's Sova. I get off maybe some damage through that wall, fall back to reload, and then here I use my Rolling Thunder, which is kind of a cool ult. it pops up the enemy, so it literally like pushes them out of cover. So he's a little surprised, a little bit spray, but able to get off the kill. Now I duck back in. Now here, I'm reloading. To me, this looks like I am fully in cover, but the game does not agree. And I don't know if it's a latency issue or if my elbow is peaking or what, but their jet gets off the kill with their operator down the long view. And the more I play, the more you realize that to counter an operator, it really requires more like game map sense, you know, like if they are holding down a corridor and you have a rifle or an SMG or something, you can't really counter an operator. So you need to move out of the way and loop around him or use your abilities, use smokes. You need to find some way to counter him. And yeah, still trying to figure that out a little bit. All right, out of the oven. Oh, look at that. Really turned out. I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. Fully cooked, starts to kind of peel away from the edges a little bit. And the other thing I've noticed is you start to become familiar, there's like a very distinct baked flour smell. When it's fully baked, the sort of the aroma coming out of the oven changes. And these upside down cakes, they're fun to do the sort of reveal on. Now it is a little sticky, and I think my cake tin leaked a bit. You can see here at the bottom, a lot of that sort of caramel orange juice everywhere. Luckily, it didn't make too much of a mess in my oven, but well, you know, it is what it is. It's fine. We'll do it different next time. And then I'll pull off that parchment, and look at that. Oh, it's glistening, beautiful colors, nice gradient, right? It's like fully cooked, but it's got sort of like these darker edges and this lighter middle. When I first cut into this, I was a little worried. The knife really just kind of drops in there. It's quite soft. And I think it's just a kind of an interesting textured cake. It was definitely fully cooked, but a lot of moistness, I guess, from the butter, from the oranges. There's a little lemon juice in there, and maybe the cottage cheese too. Very, very moist cake, but it holds together well. And you can see some little cottage cheese curds in there. It kind of cracks me up. Oh yeah, but we'll get back to this in just a minute. For now, back to the game. All right, so this is gonna be the final death. It's death number 5 for day 28. I will also do the final round, so don't you worry. Again, get this location reveal. It's driving me nuts. And when there's a good Sova on the enemy team and they keep finding out your location, it's just like a constant anxiety. Do they know where I am? How do I move in a way that's unpredictable? And then here, total repeat. Total deja vu from the last death. I go out, I take their Sova, and then their jet gets me on that operator long. And again, it's everything I was just saying, right? Like, I should already know this. Like, he's controlling that C long. Even though we took him out last time, he had enough funds to buy a second operator. I guess that's not necessarily expected. Like, if you take out someone who has that rifle, sometimes you assume that they won't have enough money the next round to buy it again, but he did. And yeah, I mean, I should have gone heaven and avoided the long view there, or used smokes or something to protect myself, or ask my teammates to use smokes. So that was just 2 of my teammates versus their jet, and we're able to take him out. All right, time to tuck in. Huh? That feels good. Feels good to unlock that agent, and what a tradition to have the cake along with the new agent. Delicious orange cake for my orange-haired friend, and yeah, really enjoying Breach, really enjoying the cake. Very happy man. Well, I think one of the things I like most about it is it's not too sweet. It's got a nice bitterness to it. Full cup of sugar. I guess I'm not sure how that compares to other cakes, but something about the bitterness in the orange zest and the way the caramel kind of adds a little bitterness really works out. It's really pretty tasty. Yeah, so thanks for sticking with me through these 30 days. This is day 28. Just got 2 more days to go, and yeah, kind of a little mini celebration here. We're almost there, and well, let's see the final end game match point of day 28. Alright, so here, again, we're down 4v5. I think I mentioned someone kept dropping in and out this game. towards the end, he's like, guys, I gotta go to the beach. And I actually really appreciate that. Like, yeah, man, go live your truth. Go put your toes in the sand. Enjoy yourself. But we push on to site here, and yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the whole team needs to get on site and set up pretty quickly, and we're a little slow to do that. But our putting down the spike, their raise pops out, and because of that, we actually don't quite get the spike down. And I was distracted, for sure, looking at heaven when their raise came in. So I was not expecting that. Combination of their boom bot plus that Sova arrow means that they know where I am yet again. Very frustrating. They try to do some wall damage to me. I put out a blind, and oh, I'm happy with this. Blinded 2 of theirs on the ledge. Surely, I got this, no problem. What? Just operated straight away while blind. Totally incredible. Either cheating or just a very confident blind player. Well, hey, that's it. Thanks for watching. Yeah, can't wait to get back this tomorrow, and see you all soon. All right, ciao for now.